Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning, and this is sponsored by Texoma Hyundai. Now, one thing I love about this show is we get the opportunity to spread the love of Jesus, and I get the opportunity to testify and use what God puts in me to speak about what Jesus has done for me. And the only way to God is through Jesus. So today we are talking about one of the greatest miracles that Jesus done, and that was walking on water. Now, a lot of us are fearful in our lives. Now, there's a lot of things that we fear, and whenever you lose the fear, then you're going to gain what you need to gain, and that's the opportunity to really go out and walk on water yourself. Now, today I'm going to get into the fears that we have, and a lot of us go through storms from time to time, and you have a situation that may be going on right now or that has happened, and you're trying to get over it. Well, I'm going to explain to you how to get over it, how to get through it, and not let it keep you from reaching your opportunity and your blessing. But right now, we're going to get to some music right now on Faith in Tune here on Hot 107.3 FM, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning with JJ Phoenix, and this is all sponsored by Texoma Hyundai. Now, we're talking about fear and being fearful, and just a lot of us are going through storms. I know a lot of people, I can name their names. I know one of my great friends, Jordan Cole, she's going through cancer right now, a storm. I have another friend, Crystal Lawson and Cody Lawson. They're going through a storm of just things just attacking them in every single way. Everyone. There's a lot of different people that go through storms. And some of it is, it's all fear in the end, because the storms are going to come. If you choose to follow Jesus, regardless, if you choose to follow him or not, the storms are going to come. The rain is going to come on the just and the unjust, no matter what. But when you follow Jesus, you know without a doubt that the storms are going to come. The testing of your faith is going to come. Everything that he had experienced, you're going to experience in some certain way, and you can do greater things than he. And a lot of people don't understand what that means. To me, I believe that means that he was a God walking on earth in man's body. He was able to do great miracles. And if we are able to do as much and as greater than he, it's mainly because we are human. The only part of God that we have about us, the only superpower that we have is him and us. So it makes us even that much more greater of a force here on earth, because we are human and we can still do superhuman things, but we can't compare to him because he was already superhuman. But with us, it's an underdog who overachieves on an amazing level. Now, if you're fearful in your mind, if you have a lot of fear going on, the situation is not the problem, okay? If you think about the true problem is in your mind. It's the fear. And until you realize that you are in a boat, that you are in the water, no matter what, the storms are going to come. And the boat is made so the water doesn't come into the boat. But no matter what, sooner or later, the water possibly will come into the boat, and you may have to get out on the boat, no matter who you are. And that's whenever you have to decide to walk on water. But you have to have the faith, and the fear cannot be present. We'll finish on this here in just one more moment. Here's some more music on Faith in Tune, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai here on Hot 107.3 FM. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning with JJ Phoenix, and this is all sponsored by the wonderful people of Texoma Hyundai. Now, we're talking about fear, and a lot of the times you think that you can handle the fear. But the situation is not the problem when you're in your boat out in the water and you're having that storm. The boat only sinks when the situation gets from the outside and comes on the inside. Now, you can walk through Hell's Kitchen, but as soon as Hell's Kitchen gets in you, in your conversation, in your speech, in your thoughts, in your attitude, then you will drown. And when you allow things to get, from outside to get inside you, then you will definitely go down. Look at a lot of those strong individuals. I remember grandmas and big mamas and grandpas that it meant more to them to be a great leader for their family than it was to have a great successful business or to drive a certain car or to have a certain social status. Their status was their family, and their faith was what drove their family, and they kept those blessings from coming down time to time. That's why you always go to the rock. And they were the rock because they had been through the storms. And people who ride on top of storms do it because they can float without it allowing to get into them. They can. It doesn't matter the storms that come onto them. They're so used to it, and they grow wise and grow closer with Jesus. And they're so used to walking on water and almost drowning and walking on water and God pulling them out. And they know how to keep their eyes on Jesus, keep their eyes on the prize, and then lead their family. That was what it meant to be a grandpa or a grandma. And that's what I love about, the older generation. I'm hoping that we will come back to that. And I want to finish on this here in just one more moment because I know that everyone's going through storms. And I'm going to tell you how to keep those things out because you have to keep those out if you want to stay afloat. But right now, here's some more music here on Faith in Tune, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai on Hot 107.3 FM with JJ Phoenix. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning. And today we're talking about fear. Fear of the storm, fear of the situation. We're talking about whenever you're in that boat and you're going through that storm. We all go through storms. People who ride on top of storms do it because they can float without it allowing to get into them. They can float without the water allowing to get into them. And even when it begins to, they can walk out on water. And to keep the keep the things that are on the outside out, you have to build up a defense because the water is going to come in sooner or later. It's going to come in, and you don't want it to penetrate you. The first way is you don't want to associate yourself with people who try to penetrate your boat negatively, if you know what I mean. Those guys that are people that are, you better watch out, and this could happen to you, and if I was you, I really wouldn't do that. And they can kill your spirit because when they leave you, you eventually act and say the things that they said about you, they said to you. You want people around you who are going to build you up, strengthen you throughout your storm. Those who have been through storms and they know how to strengthen you so you can go through it without it going through you. Now we're going to finish on here in just one more moment. Here's some more music on Faith in Tune, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai here on Hot 107.3 FM. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning, and today we're talking about fear of the storm. Well, all of us are traveling in a boat in this ocean, and a storm's going to come. I'm talking about the story of Jesus when he walked on water. You definitely want to surround yourself with people who are going to strengthen you and not have the negative things going around you. Think about it. What are you going through right now that's getting in you? What are you going right now that's really getting to you and affecting the way your attitude and the way you think? If you want to know, just listen to what you talk about. Pretty simple. What do you talk about all the time? Are you complaining about all the time? Because the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Listen to what the mouth is saying, and that's what the heart is filled with. People still are talking about the past. Have you ever met someone and they just cannot let the past go? It's been 5-6 years. They still will not forgive somebody. They're still talking about how much they hate that person and they'll never marry again and they'll never love again. And that person, they're not even thinking about you. They're out living their life, exploring their happiness. They may even got right with Jesus and are forgiving in the grace. And you can't understand that because you think that grace is not acceptable. But it is to everyone. And it's also the same to you. And a lot of that can hold you down. If you're living with the past in your everyday talk, it can be drowning you for years. And you can never fulfill what you're supposed to fulfill because you're steady getting drowned. You're in the boat and you're not going anywhere. And you're sinking for years and years. But I'll finish on this here in just one more moment. Here's some more music on Faith in Tune, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai here on Hot 107.3 FM. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. This is Faith in Tune. And this Sunday morning we are talking about fear. Whenever you're in the storm and you're in the boat and the rain is coming down and you see Jesus walking on water, what will you do? Well, the way that you get him there is you have to have him inside you. The disciples, they were with Jesus. Jesus wanted them to see his works. So they knew how to spread his love and everything that he was about. Now, if you want to know, the things that are killing you, the things that are getting to you, that's making you drown out in this ocean, it's filling up your boat, just listen to what you talk about. Whatever your heart is filled with, that's what you're going to talk about. And sometimes you got to let the past go if the past is constantly holding you down, you have to let it go, because your mouth will tell you what's getting to you. If you let it speak it, if you speak about it a lot, it's going to show in you. But think about this. When Jesus was walking on water and he wanted, the disciples to meet him, they were faced with a dilemma because they were afraid of the solution and they were afraid of the situation they were in. They were afraid that they were in the boat, but they were also afraid to come out of the boat and walk on water, as crazy as it may seem. Think about this. A fireman may need you to jump out of a 10-story building, and he's standing there waiting to catch you. Should you stand and not jump and just, burn up? Or should you go ahead and jump and possibly have the opportunity to live? Now, I'll let you, think about this here in just one more moment. I'll get back to some more music now here on Hot 107.3 FM, Faith in Tune, sponsored by the wonderful people of Texoma Hyundai. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning, and we're talking about fear. When you're in the boat and the rain is just coming down and you're going through these storms and Jesus is there, what are you going to do now? Jesus is going to give you a dilemma. You can either stay and burn or jump and you may live. If you're in a 10-story building, fireman's telling you to jump, you can either stay and burn, or you can jump and have the possibility of living. Now, one thing about it, Jesus is going to be hard to recognize in a storm. You're going to have so much going on, and it's going to be hard to recognize who you need to go to. Well, recognize this is Jesus. I need to go to him in this storm. But no matter what, the easiest way to recognize Jesus in the storm is to look at the way that Peter called out to Jesus. If it is you, bid me to come. Just ask. All you have to do. And the disciples, it was 12, and only one stepped out on faith and said, you know what, I'm like them. And we all believe the same, but at the same time, I'm not like them. I'm willing to come out of this situation, because most people, when they're faced in the storm, they will just freeze. They're scared. They don't want to step out on the craziest of faith, the radical faith that can take them out of the situation. They rather just freeze. And a lot of the times they'll drown, and sometimes they won't, because God is going to be with you no matter what. But if you really want the true blessing, you have to step out. Now, I'll explain this here in just one more moment. Here's some more music here on Faith in Tune on Hot 107.3 FM, sponsored by Texoma Hyundai. Texoma's #1 hit music station, Hot 107.3 FM. You're listening to Faith in Tune this beautiful Sunday morning. And today we're talking about fear whenever you're in the storm. I know a lot of individuals who are going through storms, including me. And one thing about it, I want to go ahead and let you know, whenever you are called for something, a lot of the times there will be fear there, because the evil one does not want you to do what you're meant to do, because he knows you're going to save souls doing what you're doing, and you're going to reach people. So he's going to keep you from that. And with me, when I was younger, I stuttered a lot, had a slur, really didn't like talking in front of people, and I had a hindrance to try to gain knowledge, to try to gain things that could make me better. And it was all I cared about was just having fun. I didn't want to work hard at what I loved doing. And it was mainly fear of what if I failed? What if people, talked about me? I didn't like it when I got made fun of because of my looks, of my talking, of my slurring, or what I did. And I just told myself that I was going to go out on faith. And God, if I died doing what I felt like you wanted me to do, then there's no wrong in that, because you're going to show me what you want me to do as long as I step out of that boat. As long as I step out on the water and keep my eyes on you, I know you're going to show me where I need to go, because I'm not like anyone else, and I'm willing to step out on faith, even if it means I may lose my life, because that is a may, where I'm going to lose my life no matter what if I just stay. So make sure you step out on the may and don't stay where you are. Now, I'll finish on this word next week. Make sure to listen every Sunday, Faith in Tune, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And this is sponsored by the wonderful people of Texoma Hyundai, #1 Hyundai dealer in customer satisfaction out of 800 nationwide. So go down there and talk to my man Boyd and his team, and they will definitely take care of you. And if you're going through any type of storm right now, just put your hand out, walk on water, and Jesus will be there for you, and also He will take you out of the storm. But you have to step out on faith in order for Him to do that for you. And if you don't know Jesus, just know He died for you, your past, your future sins. All you have to do is believe, and He will come into your heart, and your life will change. It is amazing. I can't explain on air how many miracles I've seen, how much that has happened. But I am a living, walking testimony, and you will become one too. Just ask Him to come into your heart and let Him know that you love Him, and He will show you the love. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you once again for listening. You have a blessed week. God bless.